and welcome back to So Much Games. You're joining us for another episode of A Winter in Aris. I am joined by my lovely players who are not driving me up the wall, I swear. The heart, cross heart. That was probably not my heart. And it, just for context, there's been a little bit of a jump between the last episode you saw and the one we're recording right now. So, if there's any break in continuity, which isn't that big a deal, but whatever, that's why. It's been like, I think, a minimum a month. So, just heads up. And now, with that bombshell dropped, who wants to remind us what happened last time? It's like a
Did
teacher.
my notes.
Yeah. Oh, that's excellent. We needed those. That's our holy grail.
Gordon appears
We
to be
never-
pointing to himself.
Yeah.
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 Do you want me to do
Probably
it?
misfits. If you've got a better recollection of it, yeah, because I have the word horse written down many times.
It was an integral part.
It was, yeah. It was the point where I realized I need to up the difficulties on things. It was like natural 20, natural 20. I was like, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all good.
Go on, Leon, then. You have the notes. I'm just...
So starting from the top, we were in Aris, around the market area, and there were goons, and they were looking for two halflings. I can't remember the names of the goons. I do have them written down though.
They're called dregs.
people.
That's it.
Dregs, yeah.
Dregs. And Ignatius, played by Odin, helped out these halflings, kind of oblivious to the fact that they were kind of being hunted, was just being a very friendly, welcoming, helpful religious person. And our half-orc librarian distracted Dregs, and our
Bubble fighter slash
Leon, you've
slash drama queen.
How did you do that?
I don't know how I muted myself. That was really odd.
Wait. Try speaking again as I'm speaking.
Oh.
Maybe it mutes people automatically if I say stuff.
Yeah.
It does.
Let me just turn that off.
What bits did you
Wow, Google.
Power flex there.
Who's in charge of the audio now?
What button that is for my next work meeting, though?
Controls. It's probably here.
So the
Turn
halflings
on.
scampered away, and then we decided to investigate a little and found the dregs were looking for the halflings because the halflings have on them a medallion?
Amulet.
An amulet.
I'm never familiar what exactly the distinction between the two is, but it's an amulet. That's the word I called it.
Yes.
So
They have an amulet that the person employing the dregs is noble bastard Pentam.
Pentam.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, he is. Not met him yet. We went to a tavern called the Harmony Haven to get some information, and found out that the halflings have a peculiar steed that they're riding around on. It's a Glyptodon, which is like a giant armadillo, and we've been calling it an Oniadillo because it comes from the region of Onia in our games.
Yeah.
So myself and Ivelian went off to find. Well, we went to the stables to look for it. Ivelian commandeered a horse that turned out to charmed a horse.
The horse wanted to come with me.
Liberated. The horse turned out to be owned by someone called the Pheasant King. While
that part Leon was in our failed attempt to record. So that's
I'm
okay.
Probably going to be able to mash together like 10 to 15 minutes of that. I'll chuck that out there as a sort of
past
bit.
now is going to look weird to present now.
And Ignatius and Avril went to the library to try and find more information on how to track the Oniadillo, and then also looking up stuff about this amulet. Found out it is an amulet of winter, and there are 4 of these amulets, and they kind of control the seasons. Yes. And so it's kind of quite an important thing that shouldn't fall into the wrong hands. Mm-hmm. And I believe that's where we got to.
Yes. Now this is part I'm a bit hazy on. When we had the kind of the attempt at this last time. Did we cover the stuff that was going on in the library? Because I remember talking to Ignatius about the book that he had found, but I don't know if I finished talking about that.
I believe so. In our what will be truncated 1.5, we covered the children/mythology book about winter, and some research on Solas. In fact.
Yes. I will do a very quick recap in that, just so that we're a bit clear. And if it does cause issues, Lewis, then you can just cut this bit. Just for clarity. So, the text in question, just for posterity, is effectively a debate that has been written down between two theologians, one by the name of Halthorn and one by the name of Gillis. And again, skimming through, like, we'll say that in the time that everything's kind of going on, you've had a little bit of chance to flick through it. Halthorn is a proponent of what is referred to colloquially as Old Solas, which you are not familiar with. This is kind of unaware to you. And Gillis is a proponent of New Solas, which until just now you just assumed was Solus. Yeah. And without going into too much of the details, because you don't have enough time to read, you need to sit down properly and go through. But basically, Old Solas seems to be effectively a disagreement on the function of the faith. So, Solas is in your tenant, accepts that the universe is constantly changing, and that Solas and her followers' belief is that it should be in the capacity of helping life, but specifically people, but all life, but people, to adapt to that change, not fight it. The classic kind of parable that is told is when Solas mended one man's leg. She explained she did not make the leg as it was before. She allowed it to become something new because it had changed fundamentally. It left a scar, and that's life. There is nothing that can be done, but you can make an easier process, and that's just nature and life in of itself. Old Solas seems to be a little bit more in disagreement with that belief. They think that Solas's interpretation is they should be trying to recreate how things used to be and the perfection within that. And this kind of and it kind of gets into the mythology, which is why I don't want to jump into it right now because we've just started. But the broad strokes is that they believe that the universe was better before all the big changes, and their goal in worshipping Solas should be to return things to that state because that was better back then. And hopefully, you're kind of picking up on the ideological emphasis that I'm going with there.
They sound like dicks.
Yeah, and just in the general writing, I
But
mean,
that's in character.
oh no, what is what I'm saying in the general writing of the book, it's not biased. It is a pretty bland just translation. Someone's literally just sat and wrote what they're saying. But they're both quite heated, and there are parts where it just devolves into like, oh, you with your fat nose, and oh, you with your hairy legs, and you're like,
Proper
okay, so
academic
there's
debate.
It's-
Excellent.
yeah.
Yeah, it's classical Greek debating then.
Pretty much, yeah. There are parts where it just
Oi,
has
big
no
nose.
yeah, it has no value, and it's quite clear the two men are just belittling one another.
I like to think Ignatius is reading it out loud and doing voices.
So wait,
Why are
and
they
now
arguing in a book? Why do they not have it out?
Odin doing a voice of people doing of a person doing voices. It's getting very complex.
Accents.
Yeah.
It mostly sounds like Ignatius.
Just my heating. Sorry.
That's
No.
okay, don't worry. And just to give a bit of context to you, Viri, you have the I think oh no, what did I call it? Oh, I can't find the name of it. But you have the book that describes, like, kind of makes the connection, if in a somewhat conspiratorial way and kind of not well written way, that the amulets are related to some of the recent historical misfortunes that have befallen Aris and some of the surrounding area, such as droughts and great
Hailstorms
fires
and
and harvests. Yeah.
possibly even led to the recent war.
Yep. And so, yes, and just again, to go back to the horse, who is called Julius, that has been taken. When you guys were leaving, you found the
Wasn't
saddle that
taken.
Julius.
The horse decided.
Oh my goodness. Okay, the horse decided to come.
Liberated.
I
And
literally asked the horse before I let the horse out of the stables, and the horse said, "Yeah, sure, I really want to go." So
speaking from someone who's worked for horses, if you just say, "Would you like out of the stable?" the horse is always going to say yes. The horse might not know what comes after going out the stable, but it knows the first part, and that's the part it's interested in. Now, you were able to find its saddle because nobody wants to just on a whim go bareback riding on a horse. It's quite painful. And within it, you found the note that says that it is the ownership of the Pheasant King. Again, I'm not sure if the edit will show this, but they both failed to work out who the Pheasant King was. However, he must be some just rich person because, I mean, he's got the word king and pheasant, and they're both like posh things. So, you know. You also found 3 gems or gemstones, 2 obsidians and a pearl, and each of those are 10 gold. And as I said, I'm not faffing about around with like identification and stuff like that because they're gems. Like people want them, and I've just told you like out of character that they're 10 gold. And you can just say you have 30 gold. I'm not going to be like, oh, you have to sell it as 1 10 gold piece or anything. Just it's fine. And you also got a map of the local area. So you've also got that.
does it have any Oniadillo marking locations on it? Like, where would an Oniadillo stay?
No. This is what is referred to as a folks map. So at this point, there are official maps, but like they're really expensive, and outside of like places like the Harmony Hut, like where they do have a big map, most people aren't going to see them, so they have folks maps, which are hand drawn. This is hand drawn, and it more is. You know, I'm not gonna make you roll because it's pretty straightforward. It seems more interested in thieves' dens, or at the very least, like holdings where people would store stuff. Reynard, you would be familiar with this. I mean, they're not your hidey holes because obviously, like, you don't share them. This is a more communal thing that perhaps lower ranking thieves would use, or like a kind of community kind of thing. Like, hey, if you need an emergency, whatever, like a healing potion or maybe a fake disguise, nip in there. So long as you don't reveal it, it's all good. Because if you reveal it, then you're dead to us, literally. But it's thieves. It's the norm. So with that kind of concluded, I've just realized I've not introduced any of you, so people might not know your names or the characters you play. But
they're under us.
Oh, they are. Well, I'm very sorry. I forget these things. So I'll just let you guys go. So I think how we start the library, what the pair of you are doing, and then we can just kind of go from there. So yeah, what you guys wanting to do? You've got your books. You know how to track the Oniadillo because you have the tracker book.
Check.
So.
We did get a book on
Yep.
Oniadillo as well.
Vidal, yeah, it seems to be just a tracker, like has lots of stuff. And I said that would give you advantage on doing another tracking roll.
Okay.
And just I don't know. Books are weird; they don't really have stats, but I feel like they should have something because knowledge is power.
Yes, always.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Librarian.
What? Yes. Hello.
Hello. I found a very loud book. Can I borrow it?
What? Yes, of course. Just put it on your library cards that you obviously have.
Oh, okay. Book Orc.
Yes,
Do you have a library card?
of course. I have several.
Could I put this book on top of that card?
That's not really how it works, but okay.
The head librarian told me I needed to put it on the card.
You're very literal, aren't you?
Yes.
Fair enough. Gives the card to her head librarian.
There's a
Okay,
fight
well-
going on in this book.
He comes back because he was looking for Ignatius, but he's now back after like a couple minutes. He's like, "Oh yes, of course, knowledge, wonderful thing." Just take that, and he basically just rubber stamps the book and then rubber stamps your card. This is obviously a very well used card because it's got quite a few stamps on it. It does give a very, very delicate glow of magic, but it's a very fleeting thing, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, that's just here you are. Please remember, return them in good condition, the condition that you
I
found them
will
in.
mend it before I return it. And if you
Good.
have other books that are in need of care, then please have them ready for when I return.
His eyes light up at that, and perhaps as you realize, oh, maybe I've opened a can of worms I don't want to, because he kind of looks to the back, and you do see there's just a kind of overflowing, like, bookshelf of not tattered books, but definitely books that have seen better days that have probably been withdrawn just
I
to keep them
believe
alive.
this book is a pathway, is a door to a new path of life, and as such must be cared for.
Mhm.
These
Yes.
books were destroyed in the Great Fire. Here's some cinders. Please repair it.
In the great book fights, I don't know why we had it. It was a terrible idea. Very painful, actually.
Librarian idea. No. Madness. Right, we should go find this armadillo.
Those hits.
Exactly. And yeah, we'll just cut over to the horse boys. That's not your name, but there we go. Now, are you both riding the horse? I did say that you
I'm
can fit.
not riding it
No,
because
you're just.
I'm just really tall. So the
Oh, okay. It would take you. I mean, your feet might be a little bit awkward on it, but it's it's an actual horse. It's not a pony, so it's quite tall. But yeah, I can see your rationale.
Would
And
Valian lead the
Oh,
horse
sorry.
if Renard is on it, or would that be
yeah, that's
improper?
I mean,
Oh.
I'm not leading the horse. The horse is coming with us of its own
Okay,
free will.
Then Renard is on the horse.
Also,
the
like,
horse is a horse. It doesn't know what it wants from you. Like when you asked it to do tracking, it goes, oh.
I'm also going to ask the horse. You like the name Julius? I mean, you look more like a Barnaby to me, but and just lead the horse off because apparently I have.
I should just stand on the horse because I'm quite acrobatic like that. Don't need to sell.
I'm not going to sit on the horse and you're going to stand on it.
Yeah.
Why did we take the saddle?
Someone might need it. I'm just wondering which one of our rooms Nye is about to appear in.
That would still be a pleasant surprise. I mean, I wouldn't know.
It would be just magical, frankly.
Terribly sorry about that. That was the cat, not the
Yay.
one knocking at my door. That was a human, but the cat was at the door. Semantics.
Wouldn't
The cat called Barnaby?
It's not, no. So to answer your question, the horse gives you a response that seems fairly normal, because I imagine you've talked to animals or talked at, because you can't get a dialogue with them.
That's just how Valian talks to everyone.
That's
Yeah.
So basically, it doesn't really have an answer to it. Like when you go like, "Oh, do you like being called Julius?" It kind of looks at you and kind of gives the animal equivalent of a shrug, like it's its name, and name means food and rides and going out to the field and occasionally being a stud. Like that's what the name signifies to him. You would say he's definitely not like emotionally attached to it. Like he's clearly not an animal that like has been cared for by like a loving owner. He's a working well, he's a riding horse, and he's passed between quite a number of hands. So yeah, he again kind of gives the animal equivalent of a shrug and doesn't really seem to bother. But you kind of get the sense of convenience. It's probably just easier. But you could call him Barnaby, and perhaps with your ability, he could interpret that as his name.
Well, he'd literally know that I'm saying Barnaby, but
no,
that's about
I
it.
know, but I'm saying
Yeah.
if like needing to do something complex, you would have disadvantage on an animal handling roll. Is what I mean, because he'd be like Barnaby, and there'd be that moment he goes, "Oh, that's not me. Oh wait, that's me. Oh no, oh no."
No, I'm not going to change his name if he's happy with Julius. It's fine. I mean, I was just asking out of curiosity.
No, that's lovely. I like it.
I've liberated this horse. I'm now very concerned about its welfare. Like the food bit will be okay. It should probably get lots of exercise as well, but
yeah,
there's a high chance of blood and swords and
you will need
gunshot
more
in
horses
its future.
if you want all of you to have horses, because a lot of you are quite big. Reynard is the only one that can like go
How
and
rude.
double up with a horse.
So
it's interesting. The three of you.
do you
picked,
want
like,
me to go back to the
statuesque-
stables? and get
No,
the rest of them?
No, I will tell you now. That will be really difficult. You got really lucky the first time. You come back for more, they'll be like, "Hey, wait a minute here."
Hang on.
Okay, so what
But,
is your plan, guys? Are you heading to library
Renard,
or? Oh,
Can
sorry.
you make heads or tails of horses this map?
Oh, shall look. Yes, I can. I don't know how much to tell Evelian. It's kind of a local map, just points of interest here and there, places to go.
It
But,
looks like fairly secretive points of interest, and we're looking for people who have hidden themselves.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to look for, where do I think halflings on the run would have gone? Yeah, I guess somewhere with guises or stilts as a disguise.
So most of the I love most of the spots are closer to cubbies, like literally just a hole you would stick your hand in and pull something out.
Oh, okay.
However, one is big enough to hold somebody. It is a hideout. If they knew about it, be a pretty good spot. It is in the nicer part of the city, or the town, I should say. It's basically someone's basement. Now, you are not 100% familiar on that building and the people that live there, but usually people don't knowingly consent to having their home turned into a hideout for thieves. So it's likely that is a kind of illegal venture. It's an illegal hideout under their home. So yeah, that would be your assertion. If they were using though a criminal, like the criminal underbelly to hide, that's where they would be hiding. Yes.
I think it's unlikely, Evelian, but this map shows that people could be hiding under this address here, and I'll stab at a point on the map. Show Evelian.
Well, we should probably check it out at the very least.
Evelian, that's actually quite close to where your contact in the town is, relatively speaking. Like he's like a 2 houses down kind of thing. But yeah, that's your alchemist friend.
Yeah, my alchemist friend lives near there, so we should probably definitely check it out before he accidentally blows them up. It occasionally happens. He's moved a couple of times.
Yeah, I remember the fire. The whole town does.
Shame about those books.
I'll fix them.
We should probably find the rest.
Yes, I will say for the sake of expediency, since the library was near the town hall and the town hall is in the nicer housing area, that all four of you find each other relatively easily. Plus, while it is a town, it's not like labyrinthian. It wouldn't be difficult for you to go to like a common meeting spot, if else. And
It's quite obvious.
yes, yes, he is. One
And
of
I'm
his many
standing on a
talents.
horse.
And Renard is on a horse. You've
I'm
become a centaur!
talking to the horse.
No,
got
I
much
imagine
taller.
him sort of like, I'm on a horse.
Hello, we found some books. We went to a big room full of books and found some books.
You found a map.
Don't trust
And a
books.
horse.
Too many words.
I didn't technically find the horse. The horse is our new adventuring companion.
Found you?
Julius the horse. He wished to be liberated.
I look the horse deep in the eyes.
It will look back at you deeply, though not perhaps understanding the gesture.
Then I'm going to compare hooves.
No, it's a well-written horse, so it gives you its hoof if you pick it up, but it's
Oh
not
no, I'm
like.
standing next to it. I'm comparing hooves.
Oh, okay, right, okay. I thought you were going to lift its hoof up to check
No,
the
I'm a
underside.
tiefling. I have hooves.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Then yeah, they're quite nice. I mean, obviously not as nice as
already.
yours, but yeah, exactly.
Has
Very well
wider
kept.
feet than I do.
Yes, I will say that for both of you, as I said to them, this is quite a well looked after horse. Like this is clearly someone's riding horse. Probably puts a lot of coin into keeping it in good condition. So yeah.
Okay.
We'll
We were
feed
looking
the
for an
horse.
armadillo and you found a horse. I mean, it's progress.
I would tell
The
you why,
horse-
but I can't remember.
The horse was potentially going to help us track the Oniadillo because
Yeah.
the horse didn't like the Oniadillo. But
Yeah. That was the reason.
yeah,
The Oniadillo had stayed. I've just decided to name it as well. The Oniadillo had been kept there by the halflings, but it had been removed a day or two ago. And you reasoned that the horses would have seen it, which they had. And then the next logic was to liberate the horse.
Because it would act as a bloodhound. Obvious.
Yes. Which, as I stated, the horse was more just eager to leave the stable more than anything else.
Right. Okay. Well, we found a book on tracking Oniadillos. I will share. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Orc.
Yeah, so
Behold.
We need to return it to the library once we are finished with it. Otherwise, the gods of knowledge will haunt our dreams. That's what he said, right?
Yeah, that and I have to pay a fine.
Oh, and a fine that will weigh heavy on our souls.
Yeah.
And my wallet.
Also, financial matters are but passing. It is the eternity of the soul that matters.
If it helps, we have some gems now.
Well, or we could just return the book on time. I think we're kind of solving a problem in the future, whereas we should be focusing on the problem of the now.
So we were going to find a house just up the way. There's a little hidey hole under there that some people use when they're tired and they need a place to rest.
Ah, little people might hide there. Is this what you are saying?
Perhaps we can check.
Okay.
Let's
Onwards.
go.
I'm waiting for Evelian to lead my horse.
Julius, would you care to lead the way? I mean, just follow Brynja.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm gone already. I'm like, adventure!
I'm following her. I do have the Oniadillo book out, and I'm kind of looking at that and looking at what I imagine is the muddy messed up road.
Give me a survival check.
You're about to get run over. You're not paying attention to
Oh,
what
I
you're
got a hot 9.
A savage
Hot 9. So
Oniadillo
remember
springs
you've got advantage for trackers, so you can roll again.
Okay, I got a hot 21.
Well then, okay. So you are correct. It is very muddy and there are lots of tracks all over the place. However, comparing the book to some of the imagery, it's not the footprints per se that are actually the best help. It's the notice of the tail. So glyptodonts drag their tail, and that is something that none of you really considered because you were just trying to find feet. So you do notice that, yes, there are a lot of tracks and they're all on top of each other, but there's one track that is really noticeable, which is that there's just a big, like, mini trench in the middle of the road. Like something's just been dragging, I don't know, like a tail through it. And now you look at it, it's actually all over, like you're now remembering that you can see this one trench just weaving its way through the whole town. And yes, it is in this area. However, it stops abruptly and then kind of seems to just vanish. A roundabout at the house that does have the basement hidey hole under it. So
I found a clue.
What
Oh,
you found.
kind of early drainage system. Probably a clue. And I would
Leap
explain
of
about the tail and the heavy tail. And oh, look, and we've been seeing this everywhere. You've probably seen it as well, but not known what it was. Say, this is the power of knowledge.
I think I was
Stop.
petitioning the mayor to actually build up the road, get rid of all this mud.
I mean, that would be nice too. But then we would not have found these tracks. And it leads to this inconspicuous seeming house that I'm now stood outside as a 6-foot bright red tiefling shouting about.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I've got to put my hand on Ignatius to make him stop talking.
That does not make me stop talking, small friend.
Ignatius, quick words.
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
people steal bread when they're starving. And
Yes.
sometimes people live in the basement of someone's house without them knowing. They're similar things somehow.
Are
But
they?
the people in there might not know that there could be people in there. I'm
Right.
pointing at the house and then pointing at the basement, respectively.
Okay.
So
And
not to announce to the house that they might have people living in their basement.
right. So this is like don't scare off the house spirits.
Yeah.
Right. Okay,
Sure.
good.
I love the idea that this conversation is a giant tiefling and
Gnome.
a gnome on a horse. And
Oh, it's more
next
eye
to
level
it,
then. Okay, that's
yeah, it's more eye level. Yeah, more respectable.
Okay. So I would like to try and look for. I'm thinking there's probably going to be some sort of marking somewhere, like maybe a thieves like symbol or something to indicate like secret
Yes.
hideout.
Give me a perception check, please.
Where's my D20? There it is. Well, I rolled a 2, but let me check my modifier.
Okay.
It's gonna feel up.
15.
Hey!
Plus 0.
Okay.
So close.
So
Wrong house, clearly.
you go up to the house and you very, very, very noticeably start gawking at its walls. Very noticeably. At which point the front door opens and a man steps out. Very plain looking, like brown hair, kind of like nice-ish clothes, probably nicer than some of the workmen you've seen, but not like fancy. He seems quite middle class. Hello? Can I help you find people?
Hello!
Hello, we have been sent by the local council to inspect the foundations of buildings because we think there is some subsidence in this area from noisy traffic going through. I'm going to point at the practically empty road behind me.
I'm very noisy.
Okay.
And here's the traffic. I'll point at the horse.
Okay. Well, Reynard, roll me a deception check then. This
We don't
one
get
won't have
advantage.
to be.
We're helping.
No, but it won't be too hard because
I think we rolled high last session.
we did.
5
Yeah.
plus 3, 8.
Okay.
You guys
Oh.
ruined it for me by talking about it.
Oh. Okay. Uh,
Can we come in and look at your basement?
Yeah, I mean, I have
No.
heard some noise, like recently, like something really big is like moving around, but
Or
I can never find. Yeah, maybe.
sounds like
maybe it
foundation
was.
moles. Gotta watch out for them.
Have you
Oh,
considered the possibility of a demonic infestation? Leaning over him.
oh, no, I haven't. No, no, it's just it's just me and the eldest at the moment because the partner's taken the two younger ones up to see their aunt.
Excellent. Family is important.
Yeah. No, I don't think we have any demons. No. I will say while he's receptive to talking to you, he is not letting you get past him. Like he's standing in front of the door, like, yeah, no, I don't think you're gonna hurt me, but
I've
no.
just remembered an
At this
important
point,
character point about
Terry
Ignatius.
intervenes. Avril intervenes, and he sort of goes, "You know, that issue Leon was talking about. What was it? Moles? Very
Yeah.
dangerous situation. You wouldn't want the little ones to get hurt, would you?" And he means it 100% sincerely. But all the other guy reads is, he is threatening the life of my children.
Okay.
Oh,
I think that was
okay.
my line.
So now we have two Ray wins.
No, I just have a super high intimidate, but the thing is, he means it for real.
He's not
Like he's
intentionally
actually
intimidating,
concerned with people, but they
okay.
just read it as intimidate.
Intimidate, okay. Oh, is that right then? Well, how about this? Yeah, if you guys, you can have a look round the property. We have a back garden, and I'll stay in here if that's okay, and you stay outside. But you can go in the back. Yeah.
I mean, it's a start. Let's go.
It's a
Yeah,
very wise choice.
And as soon as you seem to be going away, shuts the door quite quickly, and you hear, oh, excuse me, the bolt lock, like a couple more as well. So you make your way around the back.
I'll turn to Julius before we go, and I'll say, "Keep an eye on the front."
And the horse is like,
Oh no,
nay!
we've broken die.
Oh no, not again.
Sorry, I've got a tickly throat. Oh, excuse me. Oh, here. So you go around
Foundation
back.
moles.
Fix it in post.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, got a mole in my throat.
Ooh.
So you go around to the back now. I guess Evelios is the only person that would have context for this. It's a garden in the same way that a sandwich from a petrol station is a sandwich. It has all the visible signs of being the thing that they said it was, but it does not suit the function it's supposed to. So it has like a bench, but it's practically mulch. Like it's barely clinging on. There's some old like toys that have just been left discarded, presumably from this person's children. And there's like a very meek attempt at like a wire to hang things on to dry, but it's the middle of winter, so it's
I
just
feel
like
called out. I think Nye's been in our guard.
I've been in what I think most like people's gardens are, because that's what most of them are, I feel. There is something, however, you notice. And I will say I'll carry over the tracking success because it was very good. The tracks are here again. There's a
Wait.
dragging that has disturbed the ground,
I can see the tail again.
and it goes into a double door basement thing. I don't know what the
Yeah, like-
terminology is. The doors that go
Mm.
into a basement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
I'm
di-
getting a whole kind
for-
of canvas vibe,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
cellar
yeah.
door kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You guys would know that these things are here because there used to be quite bad weather phenomena that used to ravage, but they don't happen so much anymore. Like it was really something your parents would have dealt with, or more in some cases your grandparents. But nowadays it's not as big a concern. But they still exist in many of the houses. The nice
I mean-
houses, the poor houses do not have this luxury.
Right, what's the plan?
I don't know. Well, we'll go down there and say hello.
All of us.
Maybe, funny about that. Like maybe if they think someone's found them, maybe they might attack first. So maybe we should
Send you down.
be easier about it rather than easier around it. Don't do that.
I'll open one of the doors and go on then.
Well, when you open the door, there's something blocking the entrance.
Is it an Oniadillo?
It's a hard ball thing. It's literally blocking the whole entrance.
I'll go check the book.
I'll
Okay.
ask it. Are you an Oniadillo?
It does not answer you.
Is that the thing we're looking for?
The book does show patterning similar to it, and it's not like a perfect seal. There are small gaps where you can kind of see that it's a thing, and you can maybe make out some little feet tucked underneath the shell, the carapace.
I'm going to tickle its feet.
What? I'm gonna knock on its shell
I'm going to tickle
like a
its feet.
door.
Has anyone got a feather?
So,
No,
I will say that
Like
knocking
Sancavelius has got a feather.
doesn't do much, but the
Surely.
tickling, the tickling does. It does kind of shake a little bit as you tickle its feet. And I will say that you've just woken this thing up.
Humour is
And-
the best path.
And it rather than backing out, it goes further into the cellar. It is fitting down there, but as you, I presume, follow. Yes. No.
Well, this is where I'm kind of mixing a bit small through the book and going, Oniadillo, burrowing
Oh, okay.
creature.
My
Oh,
apologies.
dear.
I should give more
Oh.
information. So, an interesting note that you find is that Oniadillos hibernate at this
Oh.
time of year. So that would explain why it's going further in than coming out, because it's just going further to sleep.
Sleepy.
However, and I'm going to pull this card because I am a zoologist. We would not call it hibernation; it's torpor. So they're not like going into hibernation like a dormouse would. It's effectively just having a really big sleep to pass out the bad things. And I don't know what the actual real life paleontology of ghosthunting and hibernation is. I just thought it'd be neat that they hibernate in this
Fair enough.
world.
Mhm.
Bearing in mind that one of you is a half orc, one of you is a literal half demon, I think I'm allowed to take liberties with
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're right.
So as you follow in, you notice that this building was not designed for an Oniadillo shaped animal moving in the cellar. So it has broken its way through here, but it definitely does so in the past. It's come up and down through this cellar at least once or twice. So now, as it moves, like trundles down the stairs, it's just moving nice and breezy because but there's lots of broken, like the wall has just literally been pushed aside to let its frame through. And I will
Renard,
say,
turns out
Oh,
you
sorry.
didn't lie to that man. After all, there is an enormous foundation mark.
yeah.
Can I try and squeeze through a gap between the wall? How big are the gaps where it's
not realistically
Okay.
big enough. Like even you would have a tough time, and you'd probably risk getting squished because it's not passively letting you guys in. It's literally just moving away from you.
Okay.
So it doesn't take too long though. It's not a very deep cellar, but you do hear a voice, and a voice that you've all heard. Hey, wait, hey! Why is Darren coming down? Oh, it's okay. 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 So you hear a quiet voice say,
Darren.
Wait, why is Darren coming down? I don't know.
Darren the Oniadillo.
The Oniadillo. Right.
Ignatius, suddenly it occurs to me that you've had dealings with our halfling friends already.
I have. I saved them in the market.
Perhaps you should call out to them and remind them who you are.
Right. Hello, in the basement.
We're not here.
They're not here.
Then leave a message.
Can I leave a message for the halflings that I saved in the marketplace from the dregs?
No. What's the message?
The
They're
message
not actually
is,
that far away, but they're kind of like through their voice, if you will.
what is the message? The message is, we are here to help. We believe you to be in possession of a very dangerous artifact that a lot of very dangerous people want. And by that, more than just us.
Wait, that sounds kind of threatening. Reassure them that we're here to not.
We're not the
happen.
dangerous people that want it.
But we do want it.
Again,
Yeah,
there's
but
some-
we're
But in a
not
helpful way.
dangerous. Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
there's some furious whispering. I will say at this point, no, we'll save that for later. But yeah, they're whispering between each other, and then eventually one, the brother presumably, goes, okay, just Darren's nearly at the bottom of the stairs, so you can come in, but we're super dangerous. There's like 14 of us down here, and we're armed to the teeth with crossbows and halberds and
Yeah,
stuff.
I've met both of you already.
Well, we're really buff, and we can take you in a fight. And at this
I
point, his
carried
sister
both
is
of you
like,
and your wheelbarrow.
no, I don't think it's gonna work. What do you mean it's not gonna work? Yeah, but it's just it's not really realistic. What? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, just don't kill us, please.
We're not
And
here
Averil's
to
like-
kill you.
So you get into the basement. The Oniadillo, there is just enough room for the Oniadillo to go to one of the corners and not completely dominate the room. However, you'd be hard pressed to swing like a full cat, maybe half a cat for all the room that you're given. It's not a very big space.
What
But you
amount
do
of a
find-
renard would we be able to swing?
a very angry Renard. A very
Right,
angry
by the
one. So
Um,
you find both of the halflings have kind of made a very makeshift, like, living space. It does not smell great down here. They have clearly been coming back to this place to hide. But you notice something as well. So you see the halflings, and especially you, Ignatius, there is something different about them. They're like, well, it's hard to put your finger. They look a bit cold, and not cold in the sense like, oh, it's a bit chilly out. Like they actually look a little bit blue, and you actually notice the brother is visibly like shaking. He's just able to not chatter his teeth, but yeah, and it is cold outside, but like most of you have got like a reasonable amount of thingy on. But the weird thing, this is the really weird thing, and actually why it stinks. They have really thick layers on. Like they're practically like, you know, when you put a baby in one of those little outfits and they just can't move. That's what they are. They're barely, and they're profusely sweating, but they still look like they're suffering from like a mild case of like hypothermia.
are you two
Which-
all right? You don't look all right.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine, yeah. Yeah, and his sister, who's a smidgen warmer, but that's not much, is like, yeah, we're just we're just we the cold doesn't agree with us. Yeah.
It's not that cold.
Oh well, we're from a very warm place where the cold is not normal.
Have you seen my face?
It's very scary.
Does it look like it comes from a cold place?
Uh, we'll answer however you want us to answer that question.
It doesn't, does it? It looks like
No,
it
it
comes
doesn't.
from
No,
a
not
very
at all.
hot
They both are like,
place.
no.
And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's not cold in here.
Oh, okay.
I think you two have meddled with something you shouldn't have meddled with, haven't you?
No, no.
Yes. Do you want to make some gold? Is that what it was? Just a quick little it's not a bad life path, but friends, it has taken you down a cold, slippery slope.
And they both start crying at this point. Not like children, like people that look very worn out. Like it's not like you believe them. They just you saying this to them is it's kind of like a lot of emotions are all spilling out for both of them at once. Although their tears are not frozen, but they're like slush. They're kind of like really slowly. It's quite an awful sight actually. But they're kind of like sniffling. And we didn't we didn't do anything. It wasn't our fault.
So,
No.
what did you do? Because if it wasn't your fault, that means you did do something.
No. We
Yes.
did. It wasn't meant to be like this. We just we were just holding it for our dad. And stuff went wrong really quickly. Um are, do you want to sit down? Or
that
are
would,
you
I'm banging off the ceiling, so
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
I'm
Y'all-
gonna fix
yeah,
some
again.
stuff. I'm just gonna be like stroking the walls and fixing the furniture where the Oniadillo
Yeah.
presumably crushed it.
Oh yeah. There's probably some cherished family mementos which are
Just
under it.
mending
Yeah.
as I go. Just before I sit down, I'll just mend the bench.
Okay. So you all find some space. It's at this point that one of the brother pulls what you presume to be the amulet out and kind of lets it hang on his chest. It is quite beautiful. It is made from gold, but it is shaped into a snowflake of quite intricate design, very delicate. You'd think it would break easily. However, you see that the brother is quite flippant with it, like even a little bit kind of hoping it will break kind of sense, like that kind of, oh, I don't care what happens to this. And it seems quite resilient as well. You wouldn't be if it wasn't tough, it wouldn't be worn in such a fashion. However, it is glowing blue, but not because there's anything blue on it. As I said, it's a golden snowflake. But yep, nice tinge of blue emanating from it.
Right. I'm not really the magic expert here, but that looks magical to me.
I mean, I could make sure with detect magic, but it seems irrelevant at this point.
We might learn a little bit more about it, or we can look it up in the
very
book.
true.
You seem like you're suffering from a magical malady. I'm guessing by that. Is that a permanent or just because you're wearing it?
if we knew, we wouldn't. Oh, sorry. When I touch it, it makes my brain go funny. If we knew, we wouldn't be we wouldn't be in the situation that we were in. To the best of my knowledge, it's a powerful item. Um, that's why Pentam wants it, right?
Yep.
Would
And it's at
me
this point the
doing
sister. Oh, sorry.
would me doing detect magic give us any extra information on it?
Well, for like game sense, yeah, because detect magic actually like
Cool.
tells you the whole specs. It's kind of why some GMs are a bit grumpy about it because they're like, hey, you've just ruined my super cool magic item. But yeah, it'll just give you the loadout on it. Is it a roll? or is it just I
It's
cast it?
You can make it an
Verb-
Arcana roll. That's the
verbal
usual way of doing
or
it.
magic. You can cast detect magic, so I have to cast it.
But there's
Detect
no.
magic
myself
tends to only give you the
once per short
school.
rest.
Potentially.
Wisdom is my spellcasting ability.
Okay. I can have a look. Yeah, I always forget what the exact thing for.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily give you the full
Arcana.
readout. And
Yeah,
I've known GMs go,
That was-
yes, with enough study, you can learn about this thing.
that was why I asked. Well, if it's just gonna, if the end result will be, I know it's magical, then
No, it wouldn't be.
we
that.
know that.
For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn the school of magic, if any. The spell can penetrate most barriers. Okay, never mind that. So straight up, I knew the aura thing. That's something that you would all know. This thing is radiating so much magical power that you can visibly
We
see
can all
the
see it.
aura.
Yeah.
You don't need magical eyes to pick up on it. And because of that, that's just a bit concerned, but you can roll it and you can learn what skill it is. So evidently I mixed detect magic up with identify. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Identify's the one
Yeah.
that people get. Yeah.
Um,
You can roll it.
Give it a go.
Ignatius is going to just tap Ivelios on the side of the head with one scaly finger and just a little bit of ding. May your eyes see true, my friend.
Okay.
Now have guidance.
Oh, what does that add?
It adds a D4 to any ability check. So if you want to do Arcana on it,
I might need it. I will find my D.
you could do that. That's the lag. Joy chapter.
Yay. A bit better. A 13 in total.
Okay. So, this is just a personal thing I like to do. For Arcana check, I like to imagine that because everyone can do Arcana, it's kind of a sense thing, and you kind of tune in, so to speak. So you kind of, prepare your mind, think about the kind of things, and literally the minute you focus on it, it's just a cacophony. Like it's a lot of magical energy all hitting you at once. With a 13, what I will say is that you're able to kind of go, oh, okay, and twig it. So this is a form of, well, it's elemental magic. I can't remember all of them, but it is a form of conjuration. What you're looking at, and this is the kind of limited, because 13 is not super great, but it's not super bad. What you're looking at seems to be less of an item that stores power and more an item that connects to something greater than itself. So that's why it's completely made out of gold. It's like a big focusing point. And that would explain the twins' condition, because they're quite literally just put in like a gateway to somewhere. This is the part you're not super familiar on, right next to their hearts. And yeah, that's probably not doing well. If you remember how magic works in this, it's to do with everything has a small kind of field around it, and when you cast magic, you're basically convincing them that they're supposed to be a certain way. Normally, a living thing can resist that magic because it goes, no, I'm supposed to be this way. My brain tells me that. This thing is so powerful and they've got it so close to themselves that it doesn't care. So yeah, they are just colder than everyone around them because of that. Not deathly at the moment, but
I'm
and
gonna
that's
get
as
out
best as you can
a
get.
bag and go. Maybe you should put it in here, and we'll just.
No. We lose this, and that's it. That's our bargaining power gone. They could just kill us. Like they could just kill us like that. Like if we're in it, they can't touch us. Yeah.
Pretty sure if you don't have it anymore, they'll not care about you in any way.
You don't know Pentam. You don't know what he's capable of. You don't know what he's like. You don't even know why he's chasing us. I mean, yeah, it's this, but like, there's other reasons.
What are the reasons?
Is at this point his sister kind of chimes in, like, why are you asking these questions, eh? What are you gonna do? You can't change this. This is older than all of us. It's just how things are. This is how they treat us.
Well, I mean,
Us
we
being
just had the revolution, so that's not
I
entirely
like
true.
having dregs wandering around my town. They interfere with other business ventures I might be interested in. So
I would like one of you, although you can chip in now, to roll persuasion because they are kind of antsy about this. Yeah, that's they just like
Uh,
oh,
I
it's a
think,
kind of persuasion.
I have +3 on persuasion.
you could use
Don't know
intimidation
about
if you want as well.
Renard.
If that's
Shockingly,
fair.
Ignatius' intimidation is quite low as well.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Want
one
me
of
to
the
give it a
two.
go then?
Or you could, if you
Right.
could roll insight and get a read on them. That is something you can do.
Oh,
Like,
actually,
come
if
think
we
of it.
can just take a little step, Ignatius is actually quite concerned for them just in terms of their health. So I'll
Okay.
quite happily take an
Ah.
insight in, is
Yeah.
there something medical that can be done?
Oh, okay. Oh, you could roll medicine. Although I will tell you, like, it's like in layman's term, it is they're suffering from extreme colds. They're not. You could go further, I guess, but
Damn it, I've got
yeah.
resistance. Let's give it a go and see what happens. Well, I've got 22 on my
Oh my,
medicine
for
roll.
insight or medicine. Okay.
Medicine.
So here's what. Well, because that is an amazing roll, I'll tell you this. This shouldn't happen. Like, it shouldn't be possible for people to develop these symptoms and the rest of the room be normal. So it's quite clear that the amulet is doing this. You estimate that their condition has been getting worse, and if they continue to wear it, that they will die from hypothermia. That's just a given. There is no like way around it. And outside of like removing it, there's not really a way to mitigate it because it's not that the place that it is cold, they have a thing that is literally making them freezing cold. So even if you were to treat them, it wouldn't change anything. They need this off them. As for did anyone else roll persuasion, insight, anything like
I
that?
haven't rolled it yet. But,
That's okay.
unless
Yeah, I'm gonna try with my
Okay.
usual way of going. Look, if you don't hand over the amulet now, something bad is gonna happen to you.
Okay then, yeah,
Not-
go
not
for
wrong.
it. Is that
It's a 3, so nothing
Okay.
bad is gonna happen.
well? No, the
They know
brother
he's
looks
a
at you
big
going,
softy.
"Oh." The brother looks at you, go, "Oh, yes, something bad's gonna happen to us, but we're safer with this than we are giving it away. It's our bargaining
What-
power."
what
It's
what we
going
mean
to
is
kill
like
you.
yeah, it's going to kill you. Just you don't have to give it up, but at least put it in this bag and lay it next to you, but not on you, and we'll talk about it a bit more.
Do you understand that it's freezing you from the inside out?
I got a
Your
wonderful
determination
8.
to be close to it
For your
is
okay.
going to
Persuasion.
kill your sister and you.
It's at this point you can't really make out which one because they're kind of their heads are down, but one, if not both, says, "We know that. We'd we'd frankly rather go this way than the alternative."
There are other alternatives. There is an infinity of paths ahead of you.
why does this mean so much to you? Why do you have to wear it and not risk losing it?
It was our dad's. Not his per se. We don't look it, but we come from the capital, actually. Our dad was I guess you could say a banker, collector, museum curator. I don't know. He kept old stuff, and this was This was his prized possession. He had it in this dumb box, and every time someone would come round, he'd say, "Hey, do you want to look at the snowflake?" And we'd all sigh, and he'd flip it open and he'd show it off. We were never allowed to touch it. That was a big no. No one was allowed to touch it. Well, the revolution came, and it went, and not much changed for old dads. Obviously, some regime, but hey, that's he adapted, and he ran into Pentam. Pentam wants this, and he killed him. Drove a hot poker through his head, and
Yeah.
At
I do
this
apologize.
point,
Sorry, I don't have to continue further.
at this point, Avril gets out a tissue and sort of starts weeping into it and goes, "Oh my god, it's just like a book I read once." And he sort of gives them a big bear hug.
Ignatius is going to come around the other side, hugging it out.
Renard will try and take the amulet off while they're being smuggled.
Are you actually going to be doing that?
Yeah.
God,
I'm not going to
like,
miss that opportunity.
we'll grapple. You
And-
like a hand.
If Elios is gonna stand next to you with the bag ready,
Like, bring it in. I mean, I rolled a 2 plus 7, 9.
it's not our day.
I should give out a lot
I
more
try to
guidance,
cut the
really.
amulet and I just accidentally stab Ignatius.
Well, what happens? It's
Ow!
actually interesting. You go
Ow.
to reach for it, and it bites. Like you touch it, and it gets very cold very quickly as soon as you touch the melt, and you actually go, "Oh," like you get frostburn, and that does seem to be its security measure. It can somewhat protect the wearer. It seems, indirectly or directly. You can't really tell, but it definitely it got cold very quickly, immediately. So yeah, but they don't notice. A 9 is good enough that you didn't fuck up so badly that they go, "Hey, wait a minute." Plus the
You
hug
described
square
the rough.
things. Yeah, exactly.
My small
But,
friends, I am
trying to
so
help them.
sorry that this
It's
horror
not-
has befallen you. But you do not have to carry this burden alone.
It's kind what you say, giant one, but
No, you're small.
you must. I must say you're very lucky to have that hope.
It's called faith, my friend.
Yeah.
Faith of the heart.
So, are you just going to hide here until the frost kills you, or were you going somewhere?
We've been on the run for months. This isn't even ours gesturing to Darren. We found him like a month ago maybe, and just made off with him. He's too slow to get us anywhere, but we've been just trying to survive.
Very
The stuff
conspicuous.
there's not much we can do. We can't cross the border with this thing. We literally can. We tried. We immediately tried to leave Aris with all we could, but we can't leave. Not with this. And we know this is we know this is what Pentam wants. No, it won't let us leave. We could
What happens
dump
when
it.
you leave? When you
But
try?
we can't. As soon as we try and break for the forest, it just we freeze in our step. We can't go any further. The only thing we can do is, I mean, we could leave it, but that's it. Pentam will get what he wants. He'll win. he wants this and he's willing to kill, and he's killed so many, and that blood is on our hands. We've done this so many times before, hidden, and the occupants always get a horrible end. And
Do you
I
know
think
why?
it's time that you passed your burden on.
Yeah. If I may know someone we could talk to who might be able to help.
who?
No, I'll look at Renard and go, you remember I was talking about the fire recently?
Yeah. Yeah, the town now has an annual bonfire, and we make effigies of the alchemist.
He's really good at alchemy.
He's gonna make him fire. Yeah.
Yeah, but we could see what he could do with frost.
But
Your friend, just a side note, your friend actually is, and coincidentally, is actually pretty read up on, well, elementals, not the natural forces, more the spirits that inhabit them. But
Close
so
to
this,
us.
yeah, apples and pears.
because
It-
do we know why Pentam wants it, or is it just it's valuable? He's a rich, greedy person.
They
Well,
I,
Does he know its power?
I think so. We've never let the dregs catch us to find out.
It's more of a reason to keep it out of his head. If he just wants a shiny bauble, that's one thing. If he wants an item that can destabilize an entire country, that's quite a different matter.
Yeah.
You said your father kept it in a box,
Yes.
and he didn't freeze. You didn't freeze all that time. It's only because you're wearing it.
Yes.
What happened to the box?
Well, we were, when we escaped from the house, we initially had it in the box. We tried to escape to a town nearby the capital. That's when the dregs caught Wilkins, which is the brother halfling. And they were talking about the amulet. They said they'd kill us if they were going to. And then the amulet kind of fell out of the box. And may have provided a means of escape, which, and at this point they do seem a little bit more reluctant, may have led to a small blizzard in June.
Right, perfectly natural meteorological phenomenon.
Yeah. And in the haste,
You left the box
Wilkins
behind.
put the amulet on to keep it safe.
Right.
Sometimes we share, trade it, but it doesn't change what's happening.
All right. So it seems like there's some positivity there. The thing can be contained. I'll be looking at Ivelios and Bernard and Avril. Whether or not you are willing to pass on this burden, there may be a way to at least alleviate some of the immediate threat of freezing to death.
And perhaps Peleus's alchemist friend could find a way to block the effects. So
yeah.
And
There
so
are
out then,
rares I know of. I cannot do them. That will harden one against the elements. That may help as well.
do we know was Pentam in Aris, or is he?
Yes, Pentam would not. That's why the dregs have followed them all the way to this backwater part of the Republic, because it is like like he would never sully his hands. I will say the fact that he did the deed himself is, at the very least, to Evelios, rather disturbing. I mean, obviously the imagery is disturbing in general. I do apologize for that. But the fact that a noble would actively commit murder is concerning, because they pay people to do that, and for one to brazenly do it says something perhaps about the psyche or the psyche and the psyche of that individual.
On that note, Evelios may or may not be planning on shooting Pentam at some point.
Oh, I think there's quite a few people in that line. Quite a few. Yeah. Having talked it through, the brother kind of gives a sigh, and like a huge like burst of condensed air escapes his lungs. Okay. You've got to promise me something. And he's saying this as he's unclasping it. You can't let him ever get this. And as he's kind of clutching it, his hands are visibly shaking. Like, he can never have this. Okay. You've got to swear.
I swear it.
Yeah, I sort of grab his hands to warm them up a bit.
Oh,
and I say,
freezing.
"We promise, little friend. We promise."
Okay. Do you take it?
Yep.
Okay. It is very cold. Like, it's actually almost painful. I'll say, just because you've first taken it, but I will say that if you choose to wear it on your person, there are some effects. They take an hour, and you have to attune to it.
I'll put it in the bag.
Yeah, I take it very reverently, and then I go, yeah.
Yeet.
Yep. So, who wants to carry the bag?
I will carry. Well, I will carry the bag.
Yeah. I'll sort of look between Ignatius and Renard, like,
The strength of Solas will keep me warm.
yeah, okay. I could also hold it. I'm blue already.
So
True. No one
I've
would
got-
know.
I've got a little bag of sand, and I just sort of put that in the bag with the amulet, going, couldn't hurt. So now it just looks like a bag of sand with a blue glow coming out of it, probably.
Let's keep
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep
All
that
right.
closed.
Oh, at least
Okay,
it's
then.
disguised.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure the glowing bag of blue sand will not attract any
No,
Svalid
definitely not.
attention.
Only
So-
6 foot bright red tiefling.
After that,
Exactly.
I'm going to give the small, tiny people my rather large, thick coat.
Okay, then. You do notice that they almost immediately start to not have the severe aspects of their condition. They are still very cold, because a body is not like a video game. It can't go from 0 to 100
Yeah.
immediately. But they do, it does look visibly like a lot of weight has been taken off of them.
And they're not technically
I mean-
wounded. They're just under the condition of being
Yeah,
very,
they're
very
under the
cold.
condition of, they've not suffered any wounds. I was kind of, it doesn't matter, because you'll find that out if you ever choose to wear the amulet. Exactly.
It's gonna happen.
So the halflings are staying down there. Like, there's nothing heaven or earth that's making them come up, because they know the dregs are wandering. But they do make the promise to leave, because they know it's very rude, and they'll find a home for Darren, because you get the impression that was less of a they just found him, and more of a they stole him kind of thing.
Ignatius would
They probably
direct
liberated
them
him.
to his home village and go,
Yeah.
Once you've found a space for Darren, make your way quietly and simply to here. They are good
Okay.
folk.
Yeah, you're from Pain, Paen, if I remember
it.
correct, because that's the peat swamp region.
Yep.
Okay.
Good, simple folk, but they will help you find your feet back on the path.
Okay.
Nice and warm there as well.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you. And they kind of like both lie down, looking very exhausted, but not deathly, and try and warm up.
I
So,
also say, by the way, if you're out and about at the pub, try a hot chocolate.
Top tip.
exactly.
Don't try the sherry.
And what are your names?
Someone
yeah.
had to ask.
Just been calling them little
One
friends.
of them's
Yep.
Wilkins.
Wilkins is
That's
the
a-
brother, and Wilma is the sister.
Wilkins and Wilma.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah, they had
The
one of
wheels for
those-
short.
Yeah, they had one of those parents, where they're like, "Oh, we should name them the same, and they sound similar because that's what's great for twins."
Yeah,
Like,
children. Oi!
Also,
that's true.
we will hold. Well, no. The Revolutionary Guard will hold Pentam to account his grievous,
Yeah.
horrible deeds.
I'm sure the Revolutionary Council has fallen into no corruption or
No.
any form of bribery.
Ivelios
Yeah.
still has his uniform on, so I think the implication is he's just going to go and shoot him.
That's
Same
also very true. That's also
fine.
very true. So, are you wanting to see Evelios's friends?
I think we probably should.
I think,
That's
yeah.
sensible.
You don't have to. I brought up because I wanted you guys to feel connected to the world that you're in, but you don't have to meet them if you don't want to.
Well, I feel like we still should. I feel like we need a better container for this thing.
Yeah.
That is
And
good.
holding
That's
it in
fair.
a bag in
Bag
front
of
of
sand.
us and going, it's cold.
It's not quite
So-
cutting. The
Second.
other option is to be going to the butchery business, so we can keep our meat real fresh.
That is true. That is very true. So you. Oh, sorry.
So when I was mentally just trying to, because it's where he's looked at the amulet, trying to make a list of components and things that would be needed to try and forge a copy or something that would look
Oh,
like it. I'm trying to think who he
okay.
knows and what he could do and how long it might take. You said it's quite intricate and fancy.
It's quite intricate. Yeah.
And it glows.
And it glows.
Yeah. I think we'll.
Blue LED lights.
Little bit traumaturgy, prestidigitation. I'll make it glow.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, no. So it's a long process, but I'm trying to think like if
Yeah,
I had
that-
to try
that
and
we
make
can
one
set-
to fool someone at some point.
That can be a fun long-term thing because I'm gonna say now it's not a simple.
No.
Oh, we just go talk to this person. Like it would. That's a really good idea.
Because it's also like if I
like-
need to get gold for it, it's like, well, I don't have that much gold. so-
Exactly. Yeah, and it does look like it's a solid gold.
yeah. So I'd have to
piece.
liberate
I mean,
something that
Would you say it's worth
like lead
about
and then
30,
plate it.
30 gold?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. I won't make
Full
it
circle.
unless you have 2 obsidian and then pearl. Well,
Hmm.
so you leave the garden and head just literally like 2 like houses down. I will say that as you leave, you see like the man peering out of his door like this.
In a wave.
But
It's
as soon as
fine.
he sees you, he shuts it. Like
I'm going to bang on the door, actually. Hello. I'm willing to talk through the door.
You hear
We
the
have-
silence.
We're like, we took care of the moles for
Yeah.
you.
They're big moles, though. They might come back.
Yeah, we've dealt with them. We've laid down some special substances you don't want to go near.
But don't ever go down there again.
To your health.
Your house will not fall down, but I would never go in the basement.
I bet he feels so much better now.
The
just
noises
that-
should stop soon.
You
Most
do hear
of them.
silence. Yeah, he's not. But yeah, he doesn't. He
Glad
definitely
to have been of assistance. Have a
Have a
nice
good
day,
day.
citizen.
Your kids are gonna live.
Please send your feedback to the town hall.
Well, you definitely be doing that now. Okay, so you head down there. Evelios, you've been here loads times. You have tea with this guy. He's great. Well, he's a little bit grumpy about having to live out here. That's always kind of a contentious point for you guys because it's like you're about the revolution, and he's like, "Yeah, getting back to the nice capital." It's like, "No, the revolution," and he's like, "Yeah, with the nice sofas." And it's like, okay, I feel like our arguments went in slightly different directions, but he is a man of study, very intelligent, very diligent. I'm sure he'll know what to do.
What's his name anyway?
Can't remember. That's why I keep
Jeffrey.
saying his name.
It's okay. I'm also
Sorry.
not saying his name because I forgot, and I'm now scared that I did say it in like one of the
Handsome.
things.
Oh, you have.
Oh no!
Okay, if I have it, then I'll
Insert blank here.
I don't remember you mentioning an alchemist.
Insert catchphrase.
Carrington. There we go. He's Carrington. If I have said the alchemist's name, I
course.
do apologize. Carrington is his name.
We might have more than one.
So yeah, you knock on the door. I should note for if you're wanting like a visual representation of what these homes look like, think like little tenement houses, but they're like it's one house. It's not, but they're all neatly rowed. These were all made in one go. They're not very individualized, and that's why it's a bit nicer. This was just before the revolution. There was a kind of attempt to make uniformed housing for people rather than just whatever somebody threw up in the afternoon. But as I said, revolution happens and kind of put a stop to that. So, so you knock on the door, and there's a long silence, like a kind of okay, maybe he's not in, and then you hear a kind of
Don't worry, you're with us.
smash, and then someone opens the door and he opens it. Yes, Evelios, it's you. And you come quick. Who are these people? They can come inside. All of you.
Do you have room for a horse as well?
What
can't-
horse? How many legs?
Four.
Oh
legs.
no! Leave it outside. Leave it outside.
Okay.
In you come. He is for the rest of you. Evelios, you know what this guy looks like, but for the rest of you,
I feel like I already know what it looks like.
so he is an elf with huge, like the old Coca-Cola bottle glasses. He is quite old, like even by elf standards, he's quite old. His hair has gone white. He's kept it quite long, but he kind of has it in like a ponytail that kind of flips out to the side, and he is dressed very ostentatiously. Like he puts Evelios to shame with the style points he's got going for him. But he gestured, come on, in you come, all of you, sit down, sit there. And then you look to where he's pointing, and it's just a pile of notes and beakers and God knows what else. He's like, okay, not there, there, and that's like a Bunsen burner on fire, and there's some weird concoction boiling.
How about
oh.
we all sit down and I'll make some tea?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yes, Evelios, that's why you're there. Yeah, yes. So he
Then
literally
I'll
just
sort of also
sit.
look over to like the rest, see if anyone's gonna make the tea.
I sort of pick up the cue and I go, oh, okay, I'll go.
I'm gonna follow Avril just so I can be nosy and look around.
Okay then.
Right.
Well then, I think we'll do the conversation with him first, and then we'll do the snooping. So he goes, "Wow, Evelios, what brings you here today? It's a good day. It's a great day. I've made a breakthrough. It's a great day."
What
Does
did
it
you
have
write?
anything to do with cold things? Because that would be useful.
No. Hotter than hot. Hot that boggles the mind and makes things so hot that one can't even comprehend how hot.
I'm pretty sure I can't talk the mayor out of expelling you from the town again.
Oh,
Like maybe make sure nothing burns down this time.
Evelios, my friend. If this is this is what I think, it's my ticket home. It's like about the capital, back to the nice laboratories. This is everything. Okay.
How hot is it? Because otherwise, I might know someone you can send a package of.
Oh,
to.
okay. So, and literally, as soon as he opens his mouth to reply, it's all magical babble. It's just like, yes, you see, it involves the ascent of the descent of the flaming reciprocal nature of, and you're fairly sure some of it's also just bullshit, but it's that kind of like it's like when a hacker explains what they're doing in a 90s film. It's just a screed of babble.
I heard flaming.
Yes, there's lots of flaming.
So
I will say for simplicity, because you do know what he studies in. So he is most well known for his study into fire elementals, more specifically, how fire elementals can become so dangerous. And his belief, and this is kind of what pushed him out before the revolution, and kind of why he never kind of came back, because they actually brought a lot of the scientific minds back, and they purposely did not invite him back. His belief is that elementals are immortal unless they get a name. And his theory is that when they get a name, they get more powerful, but they can die. That's his theory. A lot of people don't believe it because that kind of rear ends a lot of things if it's true. But his kind of main thing is with the great fires. So there's been a couple of them throughout the histories. His argument is that they were not accidents. Well, people have always, like, elementals show up when the thing that they're an element of is happening. So, like, if you leave a lake alone for long enough, a water elemental will just, like, start living there because that's just what they do. So his argument is that great fires become very powerful fire spirit elementals because somebody names it and gives it power. So his argument is if people didn't do that, then there wouldn't be super scary fire elementals going around. That's his idea. There is no, go ahead.
It's like, so can everyone just stop talking about the fucking fire I caused?
Yeah,
More
yeah,
powerful.
there's elements
Velios is
of
now
that,
thinking
yeah.
like, oh, yeah, the great fire of.
So you're saying that by giving it an identity, it also gives it life.
Yes. Oh, Evelios, who's this genius that you brought before me? He understands it perfectly. Yes, and if this is true, this will break open all of our understandings of the elemental world and the layers that filter through and how spirits interact with us. And oh my god, we've not even started talking about the mountains. Like, that means that the mountains are alive, people.
Well,
And this is the part where you're like, oh, right, this is why you got kicked out.
So if we give something a name, it's alive.
Ignatius.
We're going to pick up a piece of fruit. Hello, Bob. Hello,
But that's
Bob.
absurd.
Hello.
No,
I'm gonna
Fruit
no.
elemental.
To prove the point, I'm gonna talk to Bob now.
I'm
Okay.
eating Bob.
Oh, you're eating
Because-
Bob. That's a shame.
Well, that's a shame. But
He-
Oh, no.
you know,
Piece of fruit.
the
Maybe
peach
that one.
elemental.
Right.
I can also talk to plants. So
He looks at you, Ignatius, and he goes, oh, and he gives you that kind of, and unfortunately, this is that kind of upper class, like, oh, you silly fool. That's so ridiculous. Everyone knows that fruit can't have elementals. They're living things. So living things don't have elementals.
So not a living thing.
the reason
Or
we
the
came
product
here.
of one.
What about a fork?
No. Anyway, yes, sorry, continue.
The reason we came here, I'll just start like interrupting the two.
Yeah.
I'm just going through the things in the land. What about these forceps?
Well, I mean, an
in the
iron
end,
elemental
I'm just
could,
gonna
that's why we want to.
upend the sandbag
I
on the
have
table
sandbags,
and go.
absolutely nothing.
And
Well, you're a
quite
bit busy
literally-
talking.
he goes completely silent when you put down the table, like completely.
This is a problem, and at the very least, we need a container.
If anything
We're-
else, I hope you trust this elf an awful lot. Otherwise, we're going to have to silence him.
And at that, we're going to cut over to the others.
Yeah.
So,
At this point, Avril sticks his head out, going, "Who wants sugar?"
oh, 6.
Don't give it a name!
Only give him
So-
4.
Let's ask the honest question. Renard, what are you doing right now? Oh, you're muted again,
Oh.
Renard. Leon,
Sorry.
it's okay. No, you're all right.
Renard's kind of just generally snooping to see what's there, if there's anything just useful information wise,
Oh,
not necessarily
creepy.
taking anything. One thing would look out for, in case there's any matches, because matches are useful and they're not everywhere. But if
Okay.
there's any matches, maybe.
Yeah, no,
still-
that's a very, very fair answer. Give me a perception check.
No one's gonna miss matches. Listen to 12 plus 0, 12.
Okay. So you're kind of snooping around. You end up in what must be his laboratory, but it's quite clearly a kitchen he's converted into a laboratory. It's dusty in here. And as you're kind of looking around, there's lots of stuff. Like literally, there's beakers and bottles full of everything you can imagine. But you notice something. There's a spot where 3 empty spaces are. And that, I mean, you've never been here. Why is that weird? Well, there's dust. You know, when you move a dusty thing away and there's a little circle, they have been moved very recently.
Hmm.
And when you look from right to left, I don't know why I went that. What the other bottles contain, kind of hard to make out, but what's written on them, like little tab, very hazily, is, well, it's hard to see. Do you lean in to see what's written on the bottles?
Yeah, I'm gonna get close.
So you kind of lean in, and as soon as you do, something inside one of the bottles you're looking at pushes at you and slightly rocks the bottle. And you see a face, and it is stretched in a grotesque look of pain and anger. And it just, you can't hear it. The bottle's quite thick. It's like one of those old bottles you used to, you know, like when they keep bromide in, like those kind of very thin tube but quite wide base.
Mhm.
You can't make out too clearly, but it looks angry. And as you kind of lean in now you know what you're dealing with, and you notice the other bottles at this rack are also full of things. As you lean in, it reads, at least on this one, lava method. And now looking at it again, you notice that they're like labeled above, and they all say method. Like they're all various interpretations of a method,
Wow.
but they're not happy.
Yeah, I probably don't want to mess with them.
But 3 have been moved recently, is what you can piece together. Sorry if that wasn't made clear.
Yeah, I hope Carrington knows they've been moved.
So, yeah, that's what I say. So, like, you know, you all come back to the room unless Renard, you want to keep snooping. But you know, he's babbling. So the amulet's been placed on the table. He's silent. Where did you get this, Evelios? His eyes never leaving it in the center of the table. And you notice his fingers are drumming the table.
Yeah.
It,
Only
uh,
looky, no touchy.
It
Right?
was placed into our esteemed care by a concerned party.
It's quite wondrous, isn't it?
It would be
Very
more wondrous
wondrous.
if it had a box to hold it.
A box? Oh, why would you want to contain such power as this? Do you not know what you have, good man?
We're starting to get an inkling, and that's why a box sounds nice.
give me an insight check? Anyone that's in the room.
Oh yeah. I've got.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a happy face from Leon.
yeah, that's 16.
Oh.
16.
18.
I got
Oh,
a
wow.
4.
Okay, that makes sense. He is your friend, and it's hard when friends are not being very good people.
Friend.
Avro, he wants to take this. He
Oh.
does not care what the repercussions of it would be. You can see that in his eyes. He very badly wants to take it. Ignatius, you're kind of picking up on that, but he's also a bit weird, so maybe not. And
I don't
Maynard,
trust him.
it's he definitely wants it, but I will say you got a 16, right? And Avro got 18. Yeah, okay. You also kind of get like, okay, I guess Avro would make more sense. Avro, what you're also picking up is that he is not being forthcoming. He was aware of this and was hoping to get it himself. Well, I could have a look at it for you. If you wait a
Before-
second.
Well, we could
Before he
just
does anything,
leave it here and
no,
look at
before he
it
does
all together.
anything, I grab it and I put it around my neck. And
Oh,
I say, "This
okay.
stays with me."
Okay.
Oh dear.
Well, you've got an in-game hour before anything happens, so you're all good. Because you've got to attune to it. Okay. Oh, we don't have to be hasty. Tea. Yes, we're gonna drink the tea, and he just grabs something and starts like slurping it, but he's shaking, like maybe with excitement.
You're being
Yes, of course.
very shifty.
Harrington,
No. I don't know anything about
did you
anything.
put
No.
6 sugars in his tea? I told you to only put 4, and he's getting all shaky again. This is how the town got burnt down last time.
Oh, that's just silly now. Now, if we could turn attention back to the amulet. I guess you could say, right? Okay, so elementals. Okay, and he's doing this, I guess. Okay, so the way elementals work is that they want to be in this world, right? But they need a physical form to take, and we categorize them based on physical forms that they take. So a water elemental likes to live in water. Okay, what
Yeah.
if this is what the ancient philosophers posed? What if we could force something into a form that it wasn't wanting to be in?
Well, that
Then we
doesn't
would
seem
have
like a very
complete
good
control
idea.
over it, while also having complete control over what it could do.
Do you
Thus,
mean like putting a
Yes,
fire
Magnus.
elemental in a lake?
yes, exactly. That's how we got the story of the burning lake. Although that is just a story, we don't know how true it is.
Would you not just get steam?
No, my friend, no. Those are the offspring, and they don't live long, so they're useful. They're useless to us. Useless creations. Useless things.
I think your value system is a little bit flawed.
How so?
Nothing is useless if it has life.
Oh, but they die, so who cares? They live like a couple hours. It doesn't matter.
I think
Look,
you'll
look.
find we all die.
Oh, you
Some
brought
of
one
us
of these
sooner than
types,
others.
Isvelios. Oh,
Can we get back to the mortal thing around my neck,
yes.
maybe?
So, yes. So, what's my theory? My theory with that beautiful thing you have there is that somebody has found a way to bind an elemental to there. However, and this is where, like, I don't want to say he's drooling because that's going too far, but he is kind of like he's excited at this prospect. Perhaps a little bit unnerving. That's not binding an elemental. That's binding the plane where they come from. And if that's true, that means that we could the possibilities. We could I mean, like, if Elios, do you understand what this means? Like, we would have complete control over the weather. We could terraform like an entire crop. We could destroy armies with something like that. We could
Yeah.
level cities.
I'm even. I
The public would
no.
never have to worry. We could just destroy anything that came our way. We could I mean, obviously, what I don't know what's that. I mean, I can see the power radiating from it. My friend, how does it feel? How does it feel to have the essence of a world at your heart?
I think it feels
Bit
distinctly
nippy.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Yes, I'd have to analyze it to know what plane it is channeling. But
That's not
oh,
happening.
if you just why not? You brought it to me. I can contain it for you. You just need to give it to me and leave.
That we
That
have
to
to.
happen,
Well, it's
I
been
would need
placed
to
into our
trust you.
care.
and I would need to break my oath to my god.
And
What
we,
is more likely is that I will break you.
I don't think there's any need to.
Plus, I
Get
promised
all-
some really nice halflings, so
I
I
mean,
the
couldn't.
halfling.
we could all
I mean,
just
what?
investigate. What do you mean, the halflings?
I didn't say halflings. You said halflings.
Yeah,
Did
we
it?
did.
No,
What? Yeah, you
Arvel
did. You
said
said
halflings, and then you said halflings.
No. I said, oh, halflings. Because I love halflings. Haha.
Well, that's
That
the
was
first
a very natural laugh.
I've heard of it, but sure. Remember that? Like last time, you were complaining about a halfling manservant you had once, but still, we digress.
we really have to be going.
We could
No,
all
you can
just
stay.
investigate
You can
it
stay the night.
together.
You can stay the night. Stay the night,
I'm
please.
not staying anywhere with this person.
Ooh. Outright aggression.
So we
No.
have an appointment with Pentam.
Dun, dun, dun.
After I gave them so much. So much.
If
What
Ooh.
tea?
how what Harrington, what have you done?
And this way he turns away from me. They promised me all. They promised me a way back. They promised me it. I even gave them those fucking methods and they promised me a way back.
See, this is why I told you need to petition the Revolutionary Council for a pardon.
And at this point he says, you know what? I'm done. I'm done playing nice. And at this point he takes, and for Renard it looks similar,
Don't
a
do it,
beaker not
Carrington.
dissimilar from what you previously saw. However, this is a little bit bigger, and the thing in there looks a lot angrier. I'm warning
Don't
you,
do it.
Evelios. It has been an honor to be your friend. But if you're
It
going to
doesn't
stand in my
feel
way,
like it.
and he turns to run, but as he does, he throws the bottle to the ground.
Can
And
I
immediately-
quick draw it at it?
He's intending to break this against the ground. You can shoot it if you would like.
Someone dive and catch it, maybe?
Yeah, you can also do that. You'll have to. I will say it's kind of one or the other, because if Ellis is trying to shoot it, preferably someone probably doesn't want to try and jump in the way of
Well,
that.
how about I
Yeah.
try to shoot him?
Okay.
And
You do
someone
that then.
tries to catch it. I'll try and
Okay.
disarming shot. I'll try and shoot it out of his hand.
I will say now,
Then
like,
hopefully
DMs
someone will dive
players,
for it.
you don't want this to break against the ground, because what's in
okay.
there is not going to be happy when it gets out.
I
Got
think
that.
that's the dashing,
One of-
daring, acrobatic gnome.
Yeah.
I shall
One-
dive.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
of my trick shots is disarming shot, so I'll spend a grit to try and do that. And as it dances from his hand, hopefully Renard will catch
I mean,
it.
you can just shoot him if you want. Like, he's turning to run away. Evidently, he doesn't want to be here if that thing breaks. I will say,
Yeah, but
what
I
he
don't-
needs to
don't
do
wanna,
is
like-
who's gonna.
Shoot it before he actively throws it at the ground, so that it hopefully goes up rather than down, giving
Oh.
us a bit more time to go. Ah,
Yeah.
If it's okay with you, I'm gonna say you probably don't want to shoot this. If you want this to stay intact,
No, I'm
don't
trying to
shoot it.
disarm him. It's a disarming shot, so I'm trying to shoot it out of his hand. Trying to shoot his hand.
But he's
So you-
let go of it. He's thrown it and let go and run away like a
Not
grenade.
happening.
He's using it like a grenade, if that helps.
Avril now shouts, go magic amulet in the hopes that something works.
That's worth a
And the
shot.
amulet says to you, "You need to wait an hour."
In that
5
case,
minutes remaining.
as
Little progress
Renard dives for it, I'll
Renard-
just try and shoot him in the leg. Not
Okay,
Renard.
you roll to shoot him in the leg. It's gonna be really easy. His AC is shit. Reynard or Ignatius, one of you needs to dive for it. But I will say one of you rather than both. I mean, you can both roll if you want, but I feel like you'd probably smack into each other if you both tried to do it.
No.
Okay, Reynard, do you want to roll?
Yeah, what?
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Just a dex saving throw. Okay.
Yep.
Winding up for some
Plus
magic. though.
5.
Oh my god. Okay.
So 16. Why is it plus 5? My dex is 16. That's plus 3. Plus 5.
You're level 4. Do you get a +2 at level 4 for
Oh, it
saving?
must
It should
be.
only be 1.
Yeah, because
I don't know.
rogue, I'm guessing. So.
Okay.
Oh, I think you add my proficiency bonus. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
So
of
16
course.
plus 5, 21.
Oh my lord. Okay, well, that was
18
intense
actually.
before we had a fight.
Look at that.
You guys are really good. Okay, so you catch it, and I'm going to save Elios because we're going to wrap up.
I rolled an 18 plus 4, so I definitely
Oh
hit
yeah,
him
he's
anyway.
done. You've clipped him. I'm sure you're not going for a kill shot. You're just
No, I was shooting him in the leg. Yeah, try to run off.
And I will say we will end it at that with the bottle very much safe and him going, oh my leg!
Carrington,
Elf
I think we need to have a little talk.
And we'll end it there. So thank you for watching. It has been a lot of fun. I'm going to be honest. I was hoping that I released a horrible elemental,
Yeah.
but they've stopped. So
Ignatius was looking forward to fighting a fire thing because he's all
no,
right
but
with fire.
this was really good. I'm really glad that that's changed because that's awesome. I also love that that you guys were rolling really bad and then just at the end you
It's like,
simply
ooh!
Hold it in.
shoot
Take it home.
It was awesome. So thank you for watching. You can follow us on YouTube at SoMuchGames, and I have Twitter, and I think Lewis, you have a Twitter, and I think Bubble Ray, Leon, and I do have Twitters, but I'm not going to say them. We can have them in descriptions if people want.
There's not much content related to this sort of thing. There, so.
No,
I and myself's Linktree will be down below in the comments, and there'll be a link to Leon's Twitter and to your itch.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. And all that stuff, like and subscribe, or don't if you don't want to, but it would be nice if you did. You'd make Lewis smile. And come on, who doesn't want to see him smile? So
Like Avril says, like and subscribe. Think about the safety of your children.
Exactly.
The two things are unrelated.
So I shall say,
family is very important.
Thank you for
Family
watching.
is very important to us.
So I'll say,
Children are.
so I'll say thank you for watching and stay safe, stay gaming.
Bye.